Hello, everybody. I'm going to cover the shift again. A friend of over 20 years asked me to cover it a little bit differently, so I'm going to. This is for you, Chris. The shift is really just the spiral correction. There's a lot of talk about the shift from third dimensional to five dimensional, and then they're talking about it as it's a future event, like the solar flashes and the timeline splits, all that dramatic stuff, something happening in the sky, something big external. There is a culmination point, but the shift isn't an external spectacle. It's the geometric correction in consciousness. We all know geometry is the frequency made visible. That's what geometry is, frequency on paper, basically. So, third dimensional consciousness is not a location, it's a state of contracted perception because control is contraction. When the mind tries to control outcomes or control reality, trying to control or manipulate people, trying to control the future, all those planning, etc., see, that tightens, the breath shortens, the body braces. The nervous system compresses, and the distortion relates into the geometry. This is where the Fibonacci spiral becomes misunderstood. See, the Fibonacci sequence in nature, it looks beautiful and it describes growth. But when consciousness operates through fear, control, perception locks into an outward spiral. That's expanding outward, and it's always consuming like the Fibonacci sequence, always seeking the next point. This is the distorted loop, the mimic grid. It feeds on separation. It requires friction. It creates time pressures. People are always in a hurry. This is the control frequency. It's not evil, it's just an incomplete geometry. Now let's look at surrender. Surrender is not collapsing. And as I've said before, it's not a weakness and it's not passivity. It's the release of resistance. When surrender happens, the breath deepens. The nervous system softens and the internal bracing dissolves. So when contraction releases, the perception reorganizes. Instead of a single spiral moving outward endlessly, consciousness returns, the Christic twin spiral. It's an inhale and an exhale, expansion and return, giving and receiving. Source and expression, two balanced currents. The Christic geometry is not about outward accumulation, it's about reciprocal circulation. Nothing's ever forced. Nothing's ever consumed. Energy flows and returns to center. This is coherence. So the shift from 3D to 5D is the shift from the distorted single spiral of control back to the balanced twin spirals of surrender. It's not an evacuation. It's a nervous system recalibration, a shift in frequency, hence the shift in consciousness. It's not some cosmic rescue. It's just the internal alignment, plain and simple. You can't force your way into 5D reality. Forces the Fibonacci distortion. Trying harder or manifesting harder, pushing harder, achieving more. That's growth. What is still contraction? The shift happens when control exhausts itself. When you realize reality doesn't need to be wrestled with anymore. When the internal spiral stops trying to escape outward and instead relaxes into circulation. That's the moment. That's the exhale. That's the surrender. That's the spiral correcting itself. And when enough individuals allow their internal geometry to return to coherence, then the collective field reorganizes naturally. Not because something exploded in the sky or a ship comes or any external event. It's because distortion relaxed in the body. The shift is not coming. It's available now. The shift is surrender. And surrender is the return to the Christic spiral. Hope you guys have a great day.